So I'll be doing that. Okay, now I really think I'm done recording because I need to go do something about this nose. It's getting ridiculous. Anyway, that's all I wanted to share for now. I'll see you all in the next one. There goes Misty, biting away at her itchy little foot. See ya. Howdy. So, as you may recall from what you just finished seeing, I was feeling very sick last time I recorded, and I'm still, believe it or not, kind of sick. And the reason that's kind of shocking is because the last time I recorded that, when I was watching The Thing, was 2 weeks ago at this point, I think. I don't know. I haven't rewatched the footage, so I don't remember the exact date that I recorded, which is why I say the dates in the videos that I record. But, yeah, it was about probably 2 weeks ago, maybe a little more actually, a little over 2 weeks ago. So today is March 15th, March 15th. It's been a while since I recorded. I've been feeling sick this whole time. I got really sick literally the day after I recorded, so it must have been around like February 27th, 28th, around there, like right at the end of February going into March. I got really sick, don't know what I had. Yeah, and the doctors didn't know what I had either, so that was fun. And then a week after that I got better. I thought I was done being sick. And then this past Saturday, March 7th, I believe. Hang on. I'll get the date for you. Okay, no, this past Saturday was March 14th. Right, yesterday. Duh, because today's Sunday. The Saturday before, March 7th, that night, I suddenly got all my symptoms back after I was feeling great all day, that day, Friday, and Thursday before that. Suddenly, Saturday the 7th, all my symptoms came back and they were horrible, particularly in my throat and in my sinuses, so not fun at all. So that's why I haven't been recording since. I'm trying to see if I like having this light on or not. I'm gonna leave it on for a little bit, see how I feel about it. Anywho, whatever, however you want to say that. I am recording now because, oops, hang on, wrong thing, hold on, let me adjust this. Alright, I have the camcorder on a tripod right now. So, I'm recording today because I have to go to work in about 3 hours, and I want to show you guys what I got on Friday, March 6th. That day I went to a comic book and toys / hobby store called Tate's, T-A-T-E-S, or T-A-T-E'_S, Tate's Comics, and I would love to bring the camcorder there one day. It's a super cool place, it's huge, has a bunch of stuff, has like actually, I got my mom something really special there, and I will show you that now. So they had these, like, first of all, they had a lot of Labyrinth related stuff. Okay, I'm gonna have to turn the light off now. They had a lot of Labyrinth related stuff. Here's the knockers. What else? Now here, this is like a coin that you flip for heads or tails, and it's shaped like the Fireys. And then here, I noticed on this display, right there, they had this necklace called the Labyrinth Should You Need Us necklace. And if you don't know, Labyrinth is an extremely special film for my mom and I, because it was a huge part of my mom's childhood. She loved it in her childhood. She never saw it in theaters, she saw it on TV when she was a kid, but she adored it. Then she raised me in the 2000s and made sure that I saw it when I was a child, and I adored it. So it's like, you know, she made one of her childhood movies my childhood movie, or one of my childhood movies. In fact, that's why it's so high up here on the shelf. It's right next to the Dark Crystal. How did I forget the Dark Crystal? On my shelf. So it's very important to us, and so I got her that necklace. I don't have to admit this part out loud, but I'm going to do it anyway. She sent me the money for it because I was a little tight on funds by the time that I got it. So she paid for it, but I got it for her. And I did take a video of me giving it to her, and it was very sweet, very emotional. But I'm not going to put that video in here now on this tape. Yeah. But anyway, the necklace is just a picture of Ludo, Sir Didymus, Hoggle, and Ambrosius, the gang, Sarah's friends in the movie. Oh wow, they're actually not on the cover here. I was going to show you. But yeah, Sarah's friends. And it's a very important line in the movie, towards the end of the movie, without giving any spoilers, where they say to her, "Should you need us, just a call," or like, "We'll be here," basically. And it's very emotional, or well, at least it is to us, to my mom and I. So it's very special. And someone who knew how much Labyrinth means to my mom and I, and also Labyrinth meant a lot to her too, was my aunt, who passed away in October. I am still reeling. I'm still dealing with a lot of grief from that loss. I'm not good at showing it here on camera because I don't know, it's a very personal and private thing, and these videos are personal and private, but like, I don't know, it's very deep. But anyway, someone who knew that and would understand the importance of the necklace was my aunt. So my mom, of course, when I gave her the necklace, we had a moment, you know, thinking about her and missing her. And so the necklace is like a coin, and on one side, like I said, it shows the characters, and on the other side it says, "Should you need us." That's it. And so it's very special. My mom has not taken it off to this day. She plans on wearing it forever. It may become a family heirloom. Yeah, so I don't know. I know that's kind of cheesy and corny, but it's special to us. It's important to us. So so yeah, that was Friday, March 6th. Yes, Friday, March 6th. I went there with my friends, and also, while I was there, now onto the thing I wanted to show you why I started recording today, there was also a thrift store, like, right there in the same plaza as the comic book store, and it wouldn't be me, it wouldn't be Jake, if I didn't buy jackets. You know, I have way too many jackets for my own good, honestly. So, I'm going to show them to you. I got 3. I noticed a pattern. I always end up getting new jackets around March of every year. I don't know. I don't know what that's about. But I did last year, 2025 in March in Orlando. I got 2 jackets there. I always end up getting jackets and sweaters around March of every year. So I promise I didn't mean to do this. I didn't plan this. But without further ado, I'm going to show you the first one. This one is super 90s, very early 90s, maybe like, I don't know. I don't want to give a specific year, but it's very 90s. Check it out already just by looking at it. You can see the colors. One thing that's interesting about this jacket actually is it's technically my first jacket. Okay. It's technically my first jacket that has this much of this color on it. And that is black, right? So a lot of my jackets, most of them do not have the color black featured on them, and that's not because I hate having black features. It's actually just because I kind of steer away from dark clothing, period. I like vibrant colors, I like a lot of colors, which you'll see with the other jacket I got, the other 2 actually, well, I got another jacket and a sweater, so you'll see with both of those that the colors are quite vibrant. And this is actually a philosophy, a like style philosophy I've had since high school. I've avoided the color black since high school, specifically because I was critical of, around that time, you know, mid-2010s, a lot of people wore black everywhere, and I was kind of silently protesting that, and I felt like it was depressing, I felt like it was dull, I felt like it was gloomy, I remember saying stuff like, I remember being in high school and seeing everyone wearing black all the time, black socks, black shoes, black pants, black joggers, you know, black jackets, black sweaters, black hoodies, black t-shirts with maybe some graphics on it, black everything, all black. It's actually kind of still a trend, but in the 2020s a lot of fashion trends have gone way back more into the kind of 90s, 2000s, it's called Y2K, has become very popular because, you know, fashion is a cycle, and so that has come back into popularity lately. But anyway, so it was more prevalent, I would say, a lot more prevalent when I was in high school in the mid-2010s. A lot of people wore black. So my solution to that was the exact opposite. Just wear a lot of colors, wear colors all the time. Even if it's not like super, it doesn't have to be bright and, you know, like crazy like the second jacket I'm going to show you, but just colors, any kind of colors. And I specifically liked to wear a lot of pastel, no, not a lot of pastel. Not a lot of pastel, but I liked, no, not pastel, that's not the word I'm looking for, hold on. Because there was another trend also in the 2010s that I hated, and I was about to say that, and I said pastel instead to avoid saying that, but I was going to say muted or dull colors. I did have some muted colored shirts in the 2010s, but that was also a trend, so it would be all black, or if people wore color, it would be muted colors. At least that's what I observed in my area where I live at that time. But anyway, so all this long rambling is to say, I have always kind of steered clear of like stuff that is black because of that, and it's been kind of just in my brain subconsciously. I kind of still don't really like all black or really dark stuff. The only thing I did get was last year. It was that sweater that looked a lot like the dark blue the dark navy blue jacket that I had my 10th grade year. And that was also an exception because it was just like inherited from my great grandfather. So that one was more like, I can make this work with, you know, the rest of my outfit. But in general, yeah, I guess just black was the color I avoided. So I'm done yapping. I'm gonna put this on now, and the black parts of it actually worked really well in my opinion. So I'm gonna step back and let you see it here. Turn on the light a little more. Yep. So this is it. I like it a lot. I think it's really cool. Maybe I can turn this light off now. And freaking fresh word. Actually, wait, no. That's more like 2000s. Maybe they said that in the 90s. I wouldn't know. I was born in 1999, so I completely missed that decade. But yeah, I like it. I think it's cool. The black works for me. I think it works really well. I think it wouldn't work if it was like more black. But yeah, so this is it. And also, I'm gonna zip it up. I think it looks good too, zipped up. Or like half zipped up like this. It has these like buttons. Hang on. Okay. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. I don't know why, I feel very like fresh in this. I know this is super cringy, this is like complete cringe, but I'm also kind of having fun with that. Having fun with that fact, because I'm allowed to have fun. But yeah, so, yep. I don't know, I really like this one a lot. And it's also really comfy too. Oh no, this is a shame. Yeah, this pocket is completely broken. Oh well. Okay, I'll stop. That's enough of that. Let me show you the other two that I got now real quick. Actually, I'll just pause this. Okay. So, this one I also really love a lot. This is the sweater I was talking about. So I said I got 2 jackets and a sweater, and now I'm going to show you the other jacket. And then you'll see what I mean by very vibrant. This is the most vibrant thing I own. Yeah. Yeah. So, it's like, it feels like I'm at Taco Bell in I don't know, 1998 or something. It reminds me of the old Taco Bell, like, interior colors. But yeah. I'm gonna put this one on. It's going to mess up my hair. I need a haircut real bad. I'm actually gonna cut my own hair very soon, but whatever. I'll let it mess up my hair. I'll fix my hair after. Yeah, it messed up my hair. Don't mind my massive forehead. It's actually genetic. There's nothing I can do about it. And I'm gonna sound like I'm in denial, but I'm actually not balding as much as it appears. I am balding, but I only lost, honestly, I've only lost less than an inch on my hairline, at least up here. On the sides, I actually lost definitely more, but on the top, I've only lost about an inch or less, actually. And I can prove that with pictures, but that's besides the point of this video, so we'll talk about that later. But basically, I was born with a massive forehead, so the hair loss that I'm experiencing is actually not very advanced. It just looks really bad because I already had a huge forehead to begin with. Again, neither here nor there. We'll talk about that another time, and I think I already did talk about that in probably several of my other videos anyway, but whatever. I'm gonna tuck this one in because I like how it looks better when it's tucked in, even though it has pockets, which makes it really poofy when tucked in, but yeah, whatever. I'll do it anyway. I'm gonna T-pose. I don't know what this does besides show my dad bod. Yeah. Highlander pose there, something like that. Here's the back. Yep. So that's this one. God, I can never get used to the inverted camera thing here, but yeah. So there's this one. I like it a lot. It's very comfy too. I wish you could feel this through the camera. It's very soft and nice. It is kind of warm though, so I'm probably going to save it for actual winter, and the inside is like this kind of fleecy, woolly, I don't know, insulated inside part. There goes my hair again. I need to fix my hair again. I really do need a haircut. I am going to cut my own hair soon, actually, with the clippers that I have. Ah, God, I hate having this hairline because I feel like I look like a creep with this hair. And I feel like I don't know how to fix that. And I'm not a creep, so I don't know how to convince people that I'm not, besides, you know, obviously once people get to know me, they know I'm not, but still, first impressions, you know, they take a look at me and they're like, ooh, ew, weird, big, giant forehead. Anyway, I'm exaggerating. I don't know if that's what people actually think, but in case anyone does, I have this video to show you that I'm very insecure about that, because, you know, revealing your insecurities is always a really good idea, especially if you put anything on the internet. Okay, so this, like I said, this is my most vibrant jacket I own. In fact, it's the first pink I own. I actually never had pink before. Oh, my belly. Okay. So this is like one of those, this is obviously the top piece to someone's mom's tracksuit from 1996 or 1993 or something. So if this was your mom's tracksuit in the 90s, it's mine now, and I think I look good in it. So that's all that counts. Yeah. I probably won't wear this very often, if we're being real. I might be too scared to wear something this vibrant around here. I know I will get looks if I do that, and not the kind of looks I want to get, or at least for the most part. I don't know, maybe I'm assuming too much, but yeah, I like it. It's okay. It's cool. Maybe it's probably cool for specific occasions. It is definitely very retro, very 90s, and yeah. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so this is probably the most feminine thing I own. Probably, maybe besides the turtlenecks, which, if I were living in the 70s, those turtlenecks would be probably one of the most masculine things I own, but I live in the 2020s, and from what I gather, unless you're a very specific body type, turtlenecks on men can look quite feminine, at least from what I've seen. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but at least in my experience, from what I've seen. So, besides the turtlenecks, I think this might be my most feminine article of clothing, and hey, nothing wrong with that. That's why I got it. I said, hey, you know what, let me try that out. I've never had that before. I've never had this color, never had pink. I also don't think I've ever, no, I've definitely had purple, but not this shade of purple, not this very vibrant purple. So yeah, those are my jackets that I just got. And that's my rambling for the day, I think. I've also been wanting to get on here and record my thoughts and feelings in general, which I've already kind of done plenty of already here in this video right now, but I've had a lot of thoughts and feelings about life, you know, and memories and death and how I'm going to be remembered, and I feel like I talk about that plenty in these videos. I feel like I talk about, you know, how I want to be remembered, how I feel like, you know, I don't know, certain things should be remembered or not, whatever. But specifically, I've been having like this feeling about sharing my memories, and I've realized that I've been in this like game of tug of war with myself in my head, because I'm probably a crazy person, about this topic, about sharing my memories. I've been like, both, don't share these memories, they're very personal, and they're not really going to be great to share with the whole world, because a lot of personal information will be revealed, and bad people can see that and take that information and do harm to me. And so that's anxiety, that's like the fear. I'm afraid of sharing my memories, sharing pieces of me, of who I am, because I think it's dangerous. I think it is, you know, these memories are sacred and should be cherished and, you know, kept for appropriate times. And then the other side of the rope, the other, on the, you know, tug of war, the other side is like, hey, this is all I have to offer the world right now, and I want to share these beautiful things with the world, and also some of these ugly things with the world. I want to share and put it out there, and a lot of these videos show me and who I am, and I want to be known and remembered. I do. I don't want to be the most important person in the world, but I am all I have to offer, and so I want to offer it. I want to give freely, and I want others to see my experiences and my feelings and feel them and experience them with me. And so that hopefully, one day, when I'm dead, I'm gone, I can live on, right, through those memories, through those beautiful things I've created and done. And then the anxiety comes in and says, well, you're just at a point in your life where you haven't created the works yet that you want to share with the world. And those works that you create, those projects, those albums of music, those movies, those books, those comic books, whatever, projects and ambitions that I've had over the years that I want to create and share with the world, those will safely portray all of the experiences, emotions, and deep feelings that I want to share with the world, so I don't have to sacrifice my sacred, precious memories. And then, this side comes back with like, well, hey, that may be true, but I'm 26 right now. I'm going to be 27 this year, and time is ticking, and time is not waiting for me. And I have a lot of things I need to sort out and figure out right now before I can even be in a place where I can start any one of those projects that I want to share with the world. And I do believe I will share all the things I want to share with the world. I do believe that all of my projects will come to fruition. They absolutely will. I'm just in a chapter in life right now where I have nothing to show. And I have all these memories. I have 10 plus years worth of memories that are deeply important to me, and already share all the things I want to share with the world. So I can at least share those. And I love the idea of history. I'm like addicted to history as a person. So one thing I love to do, I love proving myself. I don't know why. I think it may be rooted in some stuff from my childhood, especially with parental figures and guardians who I never lied to but never believed me. So as a result, I am now an adult who always feels like he has to prove himself to everyone, which in turn, unfortunately, ironically, makes me look guilty and makes me look like I am lying because I so badly need to prove everything. But all that to say, like, whenever stupid things happen, for example, okay, in 2021, I tried to gatekeep this song called Where'd All the Time Go by Dr. Dog, because that song was deeply rooted in some very core memories for me that I made back in 2016, and I loved knowing about things that nobody else knows about, or at least very few people know about, because that felt very personal. That felt like, this is mine, whereas all the mainstream stuff, right? So this is where I sound like a complete hipster, and whatever, look at me, I am a hipster, I guess. I have to just admit it at this point, but neither here nor there, moving on. So yeah, I was a total hipster and completely gatekeeping these obscure indie things that were unique to my experience and felt like me. And then in 2021, I noticed a trend that blew up. I noticed it on YouTube because I never had TikTok because I'm that much of a hipster. But I noticed this trend on YouTube of people, I think it might have even been before 21, I think it might have been 2020, I don't know, whatever graduating class of high school was graduating that year, they, a lot of them posted their senior photos and like pictures of themselves when they were even younger, and they played that song, and it kind of blew up as a big trend, and I was like, what? Because, and the only reason I had that reaction is because I promise, very shortly before that trend blew up, I wanted to make a video using that song with my memories from 2016 because of how important and deeply rooted it was to me. But then once that trend came out, I felt like I could not make that video because I felt like, this is so specific, but I felt like if I used that song that I have known for years, and I can prove that I've known for years because I can show you on Spotify, it shows you the date that you saved songs, so I can show you that I have had that song on my Spotify since 2016, even though nobody cares about that, but see, here we go again with me feeling like I always need to prove things. That's all the point I'm making here. But anyway, so, that song, I felt like at the time, if I used that song, if I made that video that I wanted to make, and used that song, that people would think I'm just hopping aboard the trend, especially because I would be showing old pictures, videos of myself from high school, just like the trend. And so I have no way of proving to people that no, I'm not jumping on a trend, this is true to my lived experience, but you know, and that is a very stupid example, I know it is, but that's a lot. I've lived through a lot of things like that. In fact, I even have this stupid, like, thought in my head where I'm like, what obscure song that I listened to in high school is gonna start trending next? You know what I mean? And should I just, like, post everything now before everything starts trending so people can see that I always did it before it was a trend? And then there we go. I'm committing to I'm going to be the ultimate hipster. But that's not a fun or realistic reality to existence. So I have not done any of that. I have not actually acted on any of those things. These are just, again, I'm just kind of revealing to you, peeling back the curtain and revealing to you the thoughts that were in my head and stay in my head and how they affect me. So yeah, the thing with that song, in fact, actually, I saw it recently bump up in popularity. There's also a lot of songs by Cocteau Twins, I hope I pronounced that name correctly, that start trending online, and I see them and I'm just like, now I can't use that song. There's a lot of stuff like that, but I know that that is irrational. I know not to be that way. I know that I shouldn't think that way and restrict myself just because I don't want to be perceived as a trend hopper or a trend follow-alonger or a normie or a, you know, whatever. And I know that that is not a healthy or productive or good mentality to have, and that is one of, not the only, the biggest thing is probably my imposter syndrome, but that like inhibition or that, you know, that stupid anxiety that I have that is completely irrational is one of the things that is keeping me from being my true, you know, creator self that I want to be. It's one of the things. It's because I feel like, oh, now I can't do this, you know, now I can't. And that's only coming from me, and I know that. Nobody's telling me that I can't. And in fact, I'm willing to bet that if I had made that nostalgic video in 2021 that I wanted to make, and I put it up on YouTube, I'm willing to bet realistically two things would happen. Number one, I'm willing to bet it would probably be one of my most unremarkable videos still to this day on my channel 5 years later. And nobody would have called me a trend hopper. And two, oh, well, I guess I said two already. Nobody would have called me a trend hopper. Nobody would have, I'm willing to bet people would have just, if the few people who saw the video would probably have just liked it or thought, wow, these are very nice little memories. And I know that because I have shared little tidbits of my memories on YouTube already, and I've gotten some comments like that already. So that's probably the most realistic thing that would have happened. And the only thing that stopped me from having that happen, and I would have rather had that happen, the only thing that stopped me from doing that was me, and I knew that. And so, I guess, what I'm trying to say here at the end of the day is, I need to work on my mental health. Because, yeah, at the end of the day, that's all this comes out to. That's all this, you know, boils down to. I've been on a mental health journey since 2022, and I still got a long way to go. I've got things I need to sort out, things I need to iron out, and I never will be done, truthfully, because, you know, as long as I'm alive, I'm still going to be me, and I'm still going to have all my flaws. All I'm going to get out of my mental health journey is just ways to cope and patch up the patches here in between. But that's what I want. I want to patch things up. I want to clear myself of the burden of my own inhibitions that I am aware of, but they still affect me, right? So there's like a ton of videos that I want to make ton of things I want to share on the internet, and then I have that tug of war. I'm still like, yeah, share this. Oh no, an AI will steal this and steal your voice and your likeness and create a bad video or an ad or something if you become famous enough and do that. Oh no, but who cares? Do it anyway, because that's the point. The AI bubble's gonna burst and life's gonna be good again, or at least a little better. Oh no, but then even regardless, even without AI, right? There's still bad people that exist in the world, and what if they see this and they want to take this and they want to do that and they want to say this about me? Oh, but it doesn't matter. Do it anyway. I don't need to go on. That is what it's like in my head. That right there, this little puppet show I just did, that's what it's like in my head. And it's keeping me from doing the things I want to do. So, yeah. Hopefully I get better. Hopefully I will be cured of this. Hopefully I will recover from this. And I don't know. Yeah. I guess I'm just kind of talking in circles at this point. So I think I've ran out of things to say. But yeah, if you watched this, if I put this on YouTube, I really want to put this on YouTube. I don't know if I will. That would be so embarrassing if I don't put this on YouTube. But if I did put this on YouTube and you watched this whole thing, thank you. And please be one of the good people, or not an AI. Please be the good voice that is like, please, please be one of the people that proves the good voice correct. That, isn't going to harm me, or shame me, or embarrass me, or, I don't know, do whatever negative thing you can do. I don't know. I guess that's all I can ask. Yeah. So, I don't know, I ran out of things to say. I guess I'll just stop recording then. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time I decide to record.